She was due in May, beginning of May, and she didn't arrive until the 18th of May. Her name is Victoria Rose, and that was trying to somewhat honor her grandmothers. I just couldn't saddle her with the name Viola or Flora. So I told him, okay, she was born in May. It's flowery. Her middle name's a flower. You can call her Vi if you want, but we like the nickname Tori, so that's how she became Tori. And she was 3, 4 maybe. Took her down to the doctor's office or something, and it was a newer doctor, and he said, oh, hi, Vicky, how are you? And she looked at him and went, my name is Tori.
She unfortunately died in a car wreck last year, just before the first of the year.
Took the dog for a walk around the block and came back, and state police were there at my door. And so they wouldn't talk to me until I got inside and told me there'd been an accident.
One of the first things my mom said was that it was a plow that had hit Tori.
She didn't make it.
But I really wanted to do something for Tori and feel like I could make a difference for her.
She was always telling me, remember you're human, and remember, you're not always going to be successful.
We were in a bed and breakfast in Stratford-upon-Avon, and we were just up really late talking about Harry Potter. She was saying things like, I don't understand why Ginny's such a blank character. It's never really explained why Harry likes her so much. Or she'd say things like, why did J.K. Rowling choose both the Horcruxes and the Hollows? Her editor should have asked her to pick one. And I could not wrap my head around the concept that if you liked something, you could also be critical of it.
I don't know if I've ever really met another person who's just been such a good friend.
Ended up finding, her friends, Nola, Claire, Isabel, and Emma.
I met Tori when she moved here from Connecticut in 4th grade.
We were actually Girl Scouts together when we were very young.
I met Tori when we were assigned to be partners in math class in 7th grade.
When we got into high school, I was just returning from a trip in France, and I was very nervous. And I recognized Tori, of course, and I kind of just sat down at the table she was at for lunch.
Sure, we made friends with Isabel, and then we told you that you had to be friends with Isabel.
Yeah. I showed up at the table for lunch, and they were like, this is Isabel, you like her. Okay.
When they were 14, Nola lost her dad.
I brought all of them once to my shrink to try to explain how that works.
We had a village.
We have a village.
Village.
Yeah. I brought them all in because they're like my other family. Tori was like, Tori's my sister,
I just really want my best friend back. That's what I always love more than anything. And since I can't have that, I'm going to do my best to make sure that others get to benefit from the fabulous person that she was.
And just the way that she could see the world and the way that she understood adventures when they weren't particularly perilous or whatever. They're not actually a grand adventure on their own, but we could make anything a story.
He was always reading a new book, or rereading a book, or writing.
Really terrible thing that happened, but I feel like it's forced a lot of her friends to grow.
Putting together the Tori Cup, which is a sci-fi fantasy kind of knowledge challenge.
For kids and community members and anybody who just loves watching Doctor Who or Star Wars or reading Harry Potter or Tamara Pierce, anything incredibly dorky that they would just get made fun of.
I was the only one in the 5 of us who was as nerdy as I am and watched Doctor Who nonstop and watched all those kinds of, so I'm missing someone to talk to about all that now. About the kids' books we're reading.
I'm so ecstatic that, her friends and the faculty and everybody else is hoping to put something in place that'll be a lasting memory for her. Even if 10 years down the line, it's nothing but the Tori Cup and nobody remembers why it's the Tori Cup. It's still the Tori Cup. It's still for her. It's still because of her. It's something that will have a permanent place. And for me, that means a lot.